Hi guys, welcome to Bhagavad-Gita, the highest knowledge which must be taught before anything else. So I just want to let you know, like, you guys might be wondering like how much salary I'm getting by doing this job. So even though it's like the value is infinite, like I can't uh, put any numbers, but you can say like 8.1 billion dollars, cause 8.1 is the population of the world, like 8.1 billion. So that's how you can say, but it's actually infinite. So let's continue. Oh Govind, what's the use do we have for a kingdom obtained by violence against our loved ones? What is the purpose of state based enjoyment and life? That's the doubt by Arjuna. Arjuna is saying something very conditional. His statement is very conditional. He has not been freed from the illusion of happiness, but he is saying that what is the use of such happiness if one gets it by killing one's own people? What is the purpose of a state that can be achieved by killing one's own people? If one can get the kingdom without killing one's own people, and if one can get happiness without killing one's own people, then Arjuna is ready to take it. He has no doubt that happiness can be found. He has no doubt that welfare can happen. He has doubts about killing his own people. It is useful to understand this mood. We all think in similar terms. Wenger has written a book, The Philosophy of as if the whole life is standing on it, on if. If this happens, then you will be able to get happiness. If it is not so, then you will not be able to get happiness. If this happens, then welfare will be possible. If it is not so, then welfare will not be possible. But one thing is certain, that happiness can be found. The condition must be fulfilled, and the interesting thing is that the one who has condition can never get happiness. Why? Because the one whose illusion of happiness is not broken, who didn't have disillusionment, whose illusion of happiness is not broken, cannot get happiness. Happiness is achieved only by the one who knows the truth that happiness is not possible in this world. Looks very paradoxical, very inverted. One who thinks that happiness can be found in this world only if some conditions are fulfilled, he only keeps searching for new sorrows. In fact, if we want to find every sorrow, we have to find it only by creating happiness. The trick to finding sorrow is that it has to be found considering it to be happiness. As long as we search, we feel happy. When we find it, we feel sad after some time. But after getting it, there is no solution to our sorrows. If Arjuna says, where is happiness possible? Where is welfare possible in the world? Where is the purpose in the state? If he says so, his question is unconditional. Then the answer would have been completely different. But he is saying, how can one attain happiness by killing one's own people? He can get happiness, but he is ready to take happiness if his own people are not killed. There can be welfare, there can be purpose in the state, but there can be purpose in the state only if our own people are not killed. The kingdom is useless, happiness is useless. Arjun doesn't have the same thoughts as Mahavir or Buddha had. All the statements of Arjuna give information about his hostile mood. Whatever he is saying is useless. He is not considering that the thing as useless. What is the purpose of what he is saying? What is the use? He is knowing all the time in his mind that there is a benefit, there is a purpose. Only his condition should be fulfilled. If his wish is fulfilled, it is fulfilled. Only if that will be fulfilled. So he has this condition. If it is fulfilled, then he will get happiness. He has no doubt about it. I heard a joke. I heard that uh, Bertrand Russell is dying. It's a joke. A priest hearing the news that Bertrand Russell was dying came running to him that maybe this lifelong atheist might be afraid of death and remember God. But that priest does not have the courage to even approach the dying Bertrand Russell. He is standing scared at the back of the crowd of the friends who have gathered that if he gets a chance, he should tell Bertrand Russell to apologize even now. And then Bertrand Russell turned and said, "Oh God." So he thought, this is a perfect opportunity. The name of God has also come out of his mouth. So he went closer and said that now is the right time, still seeking forgiveness from God. So Bertrand Russell opened his eyes and said, "Oh God, if there is a God." So Russell asked for forgiveness. If one has the soul of Russell, he asked for forgiveness. If any sins have been committed, he asked for forgiveness, if forgiveness is possible. Our entire life is surrounded by ifs. Bertrand Russell is clean, honest. We are not so clean. Arjuna is also not clear, very confused. So the knot of his mind is very skewed. He is saying one can get happiness, but only if one's own people do not die. He says the state is beneficial if we get it, if our own do not die. If only this is his knot. And the man who says this has not lost is his attachment to happiness, kingdom, wealth, fame. His aspiration has not been broken. His ambition has not been broken. He is ready to get everything, but but his wishes must also be fulfilled. So only these conditions, otherwise, he's not ready for that. That is why Krishna has to do labor with Arjuna all the time. That labor has to be done for his self contradictory, self defending thinking. Because the whole time it is visible that Arjuna wants exactly what Arjuna is saying. He is asking for one from whom he is running away. He is embracing the very thing he is trying to avoid. This condition of Arjuna should be understood properly. So Arjun is within all of us. Whatever we push with one hand, we keep pulling with other hand. Whatever we pull with one hand, we keep pushing with other hand. If you take one step left, immediately one has to take another step right. If you take one step towards God, you immediately takes a step towards the world. This Arjuna is like a bullock cart with oxen yoked on both sides. He is pulling both ways. He is saying there is happiness, that is why the mind runs. He is saying, but one will have to kill one's own people, hence the mind returns. The self contradiction is worth remembering because Arjuna's entire state of mind is an extension of this self contradiction. So, question: Lord, we saw the state of mind of the depressed Arjuna. Now, due to sadness, a person moves away from his nature, that is, his senses of self. There is a disconnection from nature. So, the first chapter of Gita has been called Arjuna Vishad Yoga, means sad state of Arjuna. How is that? How is melancholy related to yoga? Or in what sense is the word yoga used in Gita? So, nostalgia, yoga has many meanings, and there are also such meanings of yoga which are completely opposite to what we generally understand by yoga. It is a right question that how can melancholy be yoga? Ananda means permanent peace. Yoga can happen. How can melancholy be yoga? Like you can say like permanent peace can be yoga, but how can the sadness part like melancholy be yoga? But sadness can be yoga as well because it is the form of ananda sitting on the top. That joy itself is standing on its head. Even if you stand on your feet, you are still a man. Even if you stand on your head, you are still a man. What we call going against one's nature is also